Okay, so here you are. This is a time management class for reading section. How do you do these questions at once and how do you actually manage your time? So the thing is, if you find the keywords, then you will find the answers instantly. And that is why we call time management, right? We do it quickly. So what we need to do is, this is a match the headings questions, and I have already given you the concept of match the heading questions. If you have not watched the video, then the link is in the description. And here we have math headings and true false not given questions. And let me tell you that this is not going to be a yes no not given class. Okay, so this is yes no not given question. It's not true false not given, it's yes no not given. But it is going to be a time management class. How do you do these entire questions in a real quick time? This is all about it. So let's move further. What you need to do is, when you see a message heading questions, then you need to do it at first. And the next thing is, what you also need to do is you need to look at other questions except match the heading. So in this case, there is a yes, no, not given question. And you just need to go to the questions and look at some of the keywords, main keywords. Okay, for example, here we have ancient Rome. Here we have something about irrigation systems. Here we have Greeks and Romans, right? Here we have something about industries, industrial growth, and here we have domestic water segment. Okay, so something about water infrastructures and governments, right? So we have these keywords in our mind. The first one is ancient Rome, the second one is irrigation system, the third one is Greeks and Romans, this, and that. So you need to keep these keywords in your mind, and I don't think it is that difficult for you. And what you need to do is you need to jump to question number 14 and start doing question number 14. But before that, you need to consider, you need to understand that the answer of paragraph B is already given, so we can eliminate this option. Okay, we can simply eliminate it because the answer is already, this option is already taken. So the first thing first, what is the topic of the passage? It's making every drop count. And what we need to do is we need to read the topic quickly and read one or two sentences of the first paragraph quickly so that you get an overall idea of the passage. After doing this, we have kept these keywords in our mind, right? So what we do is we go to question number 14 here and start finding our answers. So let's see, let's go to the paragraph here. It's written about the history of human civilization is entwined with the history of ways we have learned to manipulate water resources. Okay, here we are. So it's talking about human civilization. It's talking about water resources. And it says that we have learned to manipulate water resources. And this is in the history of human civilization and something like this. Now we know the concept, right? We need to look for the contrasting connectors here. We do not find any contrasting connectors. That means this idea is supported by all of the sentences. Okay, so you can directly jump to second or third sentence or the last one. Let's see at the last sentence. At the height of a Roman Empire, 9 major systems with an innovative layouts of pipes and well-built sewers supplied the occupants of Rome with as much water, okay, provided in many parts of the industrial water today. So it's talking about the human civilization, water resources. It's talking about Roman Empire, supplying Roman Empire and linking it with today's industrial world, right? So here we have question number 24, the keyword industrial. But the thing is, we have not yet found the keywords of question number 21, 22, and 23. Yes, we have the keywords of question number 21, Roman Empire. So what we are going to do is we are going to highlight this keyword and give an arrow here and write 21. Just don't start solving the questions, okay? Just write 21 and circle it. Now, why are you doing this? So that you don't have to find this keyword again and again. You have already marked this one. After you finish match the headings questions, you will directly go to question number 21. You will locate your keywords and find your answer. That's the trick of time managing, and that's only the trick of time management in the reading section. Okay, now let's continue. Here we are, question number 20, question number 14. So what can be the passage list of headings? Let's go to the list of headings and start eliminating other headings. So it's not about scientists and policy. It's not about downward demand of water. It's not about demand. It's not about environmental effects. not about financial, it's not about health, it doesn't talk about health, right? Is it about irrigation systems? Do you find irrigation somewhere here? No, we don't find it. So it's not about irrigation. 3 is already taken. So how many options left? Let's say explanation for reduced water use. Does it talk about reduced water use? No, it talks about human civilization, water resources, Roman Empire. So it's not about it. Option number 11, and I think this is only the option left, right? Option number 10, it's not about standards. It doesn't talk about the need to raise standards, right? It's not about it. And it's clearly saying that option 11 is the answer of paragraph A. So now let's jump to paragraph C. Paragraph B is already done, so we don't have to focus with this in this paragraph. So let's go to C. Here it says yet there is a dark side of this picture. Now we don't know what this picture is and we don't want to be confused. That's why we will go to paragraph B to find what is this picture. Let's go to B and read the first sentence immediately. Okay, it's about demand of water rising dramatically. There are no any contrasting connectors, so this is supporting everything here, right? Let's read the last one. Nearly 1/5 of all the electricity generated worldwide is produced by turbines. Okay, it's still talking about water use and producing water and all. So let's see this one. There is a dark side of this picture. So it's telling you that there is a dark side of all these production methods and all, right? Let's see. Now let's go through option C, paragraph C. Despite our progress, that means the progress with water manipulation and water generation or production, let's say, half of the world's population still suffers with water services inferior to those available to the ancient Greeks and Romans. So I think this word, somewhere we found this word here, Greeks and Romans, right? So the first thing that we need to do is we need to highlight it, give an arrow and write somewhere here, question number 23 and circle it. Okay, we just marked the keyword of question number 23 so that we don't have to find it again and again. So now this is talking about, let's see, water services inferior to those available. Okay, that means we're doing good, but we're still inferior as the United reports, da da da. So if it says United reports, so you don't need to read all this till this point, right? It's talking about the report and date. So don't waste your time reading this nonsense. So what is the report says is important. More than 1 billion people lack access to clean drinking water. Some 2.5 billion do not have adequate sanitation services. Okay. Preventable diseases, water diseases kill these children. So you don't have to read the digits, okay, these numbers. These children every day suggests that the efforts to solve the problems. Okay, so this is talking about the water issues, and it is also talking about the death of children due to this water issue and lack of drinking water. Okay, so it's a people's lack of drinking water and issues with sanitation, right? So it is talking about life and death. It is talking about sanitation. It's talking about health related thing, and let's say it is also talking about. It is also talking about, yes, from here it begins. So it's talking about health. Sanitation is health. Death of children. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to this one and let's find our answer. First of all, let me clear this screen. So here we are. It's not talking about scientists call for policy. Let's first eliminate it. Okay. An explanation for reduced water use. Is it talking about reduced water use? No, it's not talking about it. This one is already taken. Irrigation, is it talking about irrigation anywhere there? No, it's not talking about irrigation. Here we have irrigation systems and Greek Romans. Here we have the keyword of question number 23. So obviously the question number 22 should appear here because here we have the 21 keyword, right? So yes, here you find irrigation as well. And so what you can do is you can simply go to irrigation system, and in the question number 22 it's also talk about feeding, right? And here we also have food production. So it must be the keyword of question number 22. So we will mark question number 22 here quickly and we'll go to our elimination process. So it's not talking about irrigation. Is it talking about environmental effects? It may be, Let's go to another one. Financial. It's not talking about financial. It's, yes, we have a point hill here. Let's keep it. Concern over increasing populations. Is it talking about increasing populations? Yes. No, it's not. Another one, surprising. No, it's not talking about demand for water decreasing. It's about health. We can see that. So there are two options left. One is environmental effects. Now, if you are confused, what you can do is you can simply go back to the paragraph and read it once again. You can do it quickly, right? Because you have already read it once. So it's talking about billion people lack access of clean drinking water, and it's talking about killings of person dying, right? So it's talking about the problem. So it's about health, right? The relevance of health. It's not about environmental effects, it's about relevance of health. So this is the answer. Now let's say you are confused with 5 or 7. What you do? You can simply do, what you can do is you can go to the next part of the paragraph and you write 5. You can give a slash and you can write another one, that is 7. So I'm confused with these two options, right? And you can give a question mark just to remember. So you are confused with 5 or 7, you can do something like this. But we can see that 5 is not the answer. Let's go to option paragraph D quickly. You can pause the video here, read it quickly, and then you can go to find your answer. Let's do it real quick. Okay, so let's see. It's talking about consequences of our water policies beyond jeopardizing human health. That means it is not limited in human health, but it's beyond that. Okay, so here they talked about human health, and now here it is talking something more rather than human health. Let's say tens of millions of people have been forced, let's say, forced to move from their home. Now after this, it's a dash, it's the explanation of the same sentence, so you don't have to read it. Okay, you need to do a private reading. More than 20% of all these freshwater fish species are now threatened. Now you don't have to read after or, because it's the same thing. It says or, it's the same thing. So you don't have to read it. It just says water fish destroyed, right? And ecosystems destroyed. Okay, it's talking about ecosystems. Okay, certain irrigation practices degrade soil quality. It's talking about soil quality, reducing agricultural productivity. See, it's all about environment here, right? So there are no any contrasting connectors. Of course, it's continuing talking about all these main ideas, so you don't have to read it all. And you can find the answer directly here. There is only one option, that is environmental effects, to match this paragraph. There are no other options, right? Can you find any other options? No, there are no other options. There are no other options. Irrigation systems fall into disuse. So it uses the word irrigation somewhere here. But that doesn't mean, if you find the exact word, that doesn't mean that this is going to be the answer. You can see that it's talking about environmental degradation. It's talking about ecosystem, agriculture, say degrade soil quality. See, it's all talking about environment here. So the answer of paragraph D is going to be, what is the answer? Environmental effects. This is going to be the answer. Okay, so if you do not have contrasting connectors, then things become easier for you. Now let's go to paragraph E. Paragraph E, yes. So here we are, and we have a contrasting connector here. However, so what appears after however? Let's say at the outset of a new millennium, however, the way resource planners think about water is beginning to change. So the resource planners are going to think again about the use of water, right? See, it appears after however. The focus is slowly shifting back to the provision of basic human and environmental needs as top priority, ensuring some of all instead of more for some. Okay, some water experts are now demanding that existing infrastructure be used in smarter ways rather than building new facilities. So here we have a word infrastructure. Here, I think I found the word infrastructure somewhere. You can see it. Okay, so this is all about rethinking about water use, and it's also about some water experts demanding to use it in some different way. Now, there are no any contrasting connectors, right? So it's a nevertheless, this is a positive one. It may be the only one to address successful say. So it is supporting it. There are no any contrasting connectors to oppose it. So you don't have to read it all. You can simply read one or two sentences and you can just read the last sentence if you want. And then you can get back to the match the headings here. Now we'll start eliminating some. The first one is, let's see, this point number 3. This is already taken. Irrigation system, no, it's not about it. Explanation of reduced water use, no, this is not about reduced water use, but it is the explanation of how to use water in a different style. So it's about resource planners and it's about experts rethinking in how to use water again. So it's not about increasing populations, it's not about this one, the need to raise the standards. So here we have one left, raise the standards, and next one, scientists call for a revision of policy. So which one, this one or this one? I have already told you that in one paragraph, not all the list of the headings are going to confuse you. There will be 2 or 3 remaining, and that can confuse you. So after, however, what it says, resource planner think about water is beginning to change. So they are rethinking, and experts are now demanding that existing infrastructures cannot be used and something should be thought, right? So obviously, it's about scientists call for a revision of policy. It's talking about this point, revision, right? It's not about standards, it's about revision of policy. Okay, it's clearly seen there. So you can take this option 1, or let's say if you are confused, you can simply write 1 and 10 and put a question mark here and come back to it later. Okay, do not waste your time reading the same question again and again. Now let's get back to our keywords here. Did we find any of the keywords? We already found Greeks and Romans. Industrial growth, we have not found it yet. Water infrastructures, here we find something about infrastructure, so it can be our keyword for question number 26. But the problem is we have not found anything about uh, domestic water consumption. We have not found anything about industrial growth. So we can find infrastructure in other places as well. If you look, if you try to find it, then I hope you'll find it. But the thing is, we need to find something about industrial growth first, right? This is the main keyword for question number 24. And only after question number answer of 24 appears, there will be the answer of question number 26, because this is a follow-up question. Yes, no, not given question is a follow-up question. Okay, so let's go to paragraph F. And yes, I have found that 65% of my viewers have not subscribed the channel. Okay, so I think you need to do it. You need to build the channel, because interesting topics like this will be uploaded. Here we have infrastructures again. So let's see. Fortunately and unexpectedly, the demand for water is not rising as rapidly as some predicted. Okay, so demand for water is not rising. Here we found something about reduced water use. Okay, and here we have demand for water also. So there can be these two options that may confuse us. Let's see. As a result, the pressure to build now water infrastructures has diminished over the past 2 decades. Okay, it's about the demand of water. Although population, industrial output, and economic productivity have continued to soar in developed nations, the rate at which people withdraw water from aquifers, rivers, lakes, sea. See the word although. This is a contrasting connector, right? And this is used. Now, please understand this concept. This is used in a complex sentence here. This is the first part of the sentence before comma. This is the first part of the sentence, and another one, this one is the second part of the sentence, right? So this although is not talking about this main idea. This although is talking about this sentence. And when although is used in a mixed sentence like this, I've talked about it in writing task 1 in my class. So if you want a full class, then you will find the class in myjawaf.com. Link is in the description. You can go and find it out there. See, if it is a mixed sentence and if it's talking about although, then what appears after although is rejected by the second installment of the sentence. Okay, understand this. This is the first installment and this is the second. So although the first statement, this first statement is always contradicted by the second one. So you can read it and find it out. And it is still talking about demand of water slowing down, right? And in few parts of the world, demand has actually fallen. See, it clearly says that demand has actually fallen. And it also says it here that the demand of water is not rising as rapidly as some predicted, right? So what we need to think is, what we need to do is we need to cross some of these bad guys. And here it's not about irrigation system. No, no, no. Okay, this is about option 9, or it can be about option 2. So option 2 says an explanation for reduced water use. I don't think anything is explained here. Surprising downtrend. So this is about downward trend in demand for water, right? But do we find it surprising? Do we find this word in the paragraph? It should also be surprising. Do you find surprising? Yes, yes. It says unexpectedly. See, it is not expected, so that is surprising, right? Surprisingly, surprising downward trend in water for demand. So this is going to be your answer. So here we are. Question number option number 9 is also taken. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 options taken, right? This is also taken. Okay, 6 options already taken. So we have one, two, how many left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, and 2 paragraphs left. Now it's your turn. You need to do paragraph Z. You can pause the video. Let's go for G. But the one thing that I forget here to mention is we found something about industrial output here, right? And here we have industrial growth. Industrial growth over demand for water. See, we just talked about demand for water, and we also found this keyword. So obviously, question number 24, this is the keyword of question number 24. So we are going to write 24 here. We can do it later, no problem. But let's write question number 24 here and circle it. We have the keyword of 24. Now let's go to let's go to paragraph Z. Okay, you have already paused the video. And did you find it? What is the answer? Is it about financial cost? It's about gallons of water to produce 1 million of. So financial cost of recent technological improvements. It says technological improvements, right? In this option. I think it is 2 or 6. Now let's go and find it out. Okay, priorities rethinking. Throughout the first quarter, the quantity of consumed per person doubled. In USA, water withdrawals increased tenfold while the population quadrupled. Okay, the amount of water consumed per person has actually decreased. See, it's talking about amount of water decreased. And here we have but, and this is the game here. I have already talked about it. See, before but it's talking about quantity of consumption doubled and all. But here we have a but, and this is the contrasting connector, and this but changes all the game. See, after but we find that the water consumption decreased, but before but it was not the case, right? See, this is the game here, this is the actual game. Now here, what appears after but is important. That is very important. So if you do not understand this concept, then what you are going to do is you are going to read these 2 sentences and try to find one, and by hook or by crook, zabardasti, you will just match one option. But this is the game here. Now you are going to read it and you are going to find the answer quickly. It says about dropped, right? Here we have water withdrawals have fallen by. Oh my God, I think this is the easiest one. Okay, so it's not about technological improvements, it's about an explanation for reduced water use. That's quite straightforward answer here. Okay, now what we can also assume is option 4 is not going to be the answer of paragraph H, because irrigation systems, they talked about irrigation system in B and C somewhere here. So I don't think they are going to talk about irrigation system again, but still we have to look. Let's go to the last one. So we didn't find the keyword of question number 25, domestic water consumption. But I think in this paragraph we talked about domestic water consumption, right? Because it's all about withdrawal of water, gallons and all. Okay, so we'll come back to it later. Let's go to the next one. In the future, okay, here we are. Paragraph H, it's talking about water infrastructures, right? See, here we have infrastructure. On the other hand, dams, aqueducts, and other kinds of infrastructure will still have to be built, particularly in developing countries where basic human needs have not been met. Okay, so it's talking about infrastructure that should be made because human needs are not been met, right? Higher specifications, accountability to local people and the environment than in the past, and even in the regions where new projects seem warranted, we must find ways to meet demand with few resources, respecting ecological criteria and to smaller budget. Okay, so here is it talking about increasing population? No, it's talking about infrastructure here, and it has continued the ideas with infrastructure. I think the answer is straightforward. It's not talking about financial. You can simply eliminate the wrong ones and you can simply get to the right. It's talking about the need to raise standards here. Let's see. So you can see here we have a but. Okay, when you find a but, you find a game. So it says that at first it says that infrastructure should be built, but then there is a but. So what does this but do? Such projects, let's say here, this is very interesting. Such projects must be built to higher specifications. See, it's talking about standards, right? See, it's talking about standards. It's not simply talking about building. It's talking about standards. See, ways to find with fewer resources. Okay, so obviously the answer is 10. This one is the answer for this. Okay, so now this is the beautiful way of doing match the heading questions. Now we will go to our yes, no, not given questions. In this video, I'll not talk about yes, no, not given questions. You just need to find the keywords. Now that you know that the keyword of question number 21 is here, you can simply go to this part and find the answer and tick it whether the answer is yes, no, or not given. Okay, you can simply do it. Now this class is not going to be about yes, no, not given. So I'm very sorry guys, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not going to explain the ideas here because it will be too much complicated to talk about everything in this class. So I just wanted you to give the idea. Here you can just go and find the answer of 21. Here you have the keywords of 22. Now you don't have to search these keywords again. Here you have the uh, answer of question number 23, right? For 24 you can go to the next paragraph here and find the answer of question number 24. 25, here you can go and find the answer of 25, and for 26 paragraph H is there. Okay, so you can do it. Or if you want me to make a video on yes, no, not given, true, false, not given question, then you can comment that in the comment box. And you also need to give me some feedbacks whether these videos are helping you or not. And if you find it interesting, then you need to comment me so that I know that you guys are really enjoying these contents, and so that I know that I need to make different contents like this. Okay. Lastly, I would like to tell you that you need to subscribe and build the channel, because I think the channel should grow for you guys also, right? And I also need to be motivated to upload new videos for you guys. So let's do this much for this video. Here we learned about time management technique and we learned how to do it. Your comment is really appreciated. Thank you so much.